Hey, hi, it's Monday, it's Joe, and this week we're talking about packing and STPing, or SingTP. So, the first packing device that I bought, in fact actually, the only packing device that I've ever bought, is, oh god, it's a bit grubby, sorry, is the Mr. Limpy Extra Small. Extra small because, personally, I was not looking for a bulge out of packing. I just want a lack of visible, lack thereof, if that makes sense. I just didn't want it to be, very evident that there wasn't anything there. And I wear pants that are tight enough that, it is fairly evident to me, probably not to other people, but to me anyway, that there isn't, there are no sticky outy genitalia there. So I got the extra small because I don't want a bulge, I just want a lack of concavity. And he's fine, does the trick. I didn't really feel the need for anything bigger or anything different. Literally all I wanted was just something that just sits there and doesn't bother me. And really something to just sort of stop me having to think about it, because I found that it was another thing that eventually I started to feel self-conscious about. Aside from my chest being flat, suddenly I was also self-conscious about my my crotch area being too flat. I got this, and just to sort of, so that in certain circumstances I don't have to think about it, so I can just sort of forget that there's a gap there where my genitals should be. I don't pack all the time. I mostly just pack now and again. I don't know, if I'm going out in public on my own, or if I'm going somewhere where I feel a bit insecure anyway, I would pack every day, but I kind of would rather not, in terms of, I don't want to become too dependent on it. I know that sounds weird, but in some ways it almost makes me feel worse some days, because I have to put it in at the beginning of the day and take it out at the end of the day, and that just reminds me, while it's in, it takes my mind off the fact that that's where my balls and whatnot should be, but taking it out then reminds me that they're not there actually, and that it is just a bit of whatever this is made out of. So for that reason, and for the reason of that my genitals are never going to look like this, I try to limit the amount of time that I pack, because I don't want to become too psychologically dependent on it, and end up making things worse for myself. So so I'd say I pack maybe 50% of the time, maybe a bit less, I don't know, it varies. But so that's my packer. It's Mr. Limpy. He's kind of sticky, I haven't put any cornstarch on him recently. There we go. And as I said, I haven't had any issues with him. He's fine. It's really weird that I'm referring to my pretend penis with my pronouns. Anyway, it hasn't failed me in any way. The first SingTP device that I purchased is this Shoey. I found the Shoey sort of difficult to use, to be totally honest. Probably just because I was a novice because it was the first thing I got. But I did find it quite difficult to get the hang of, and I never found it particularly comfortable. And also it's sort of gigantic. For reference, it's kind of long, which means keeping it in your pocket, and it's got this jabby end, keeping it in your pocket isn't particularly practical. It's not all that comfy to carry around in your pocket. So I wasn't crazy about the Shoey, and also, it took me a while to get used to learn how to use it, and that was really sort of, what's the word, discouraging. And so I was sort of screw it, I don't want to SingTP, I don't care, blah, and stopped for a while. And then I came across this little guy, which is looking a bit grubby as well. Oh no, I got a hole in my latex. Oh no, it's just a scratch. Anyway, this little dude, the urinal, and this guy, a fella called Dylan, sells these, and he's a trans guy, and it's all sort of so the money is going to helping another trans guy, which is really nice. And this is so easy to use. Oh my god, the minute I got it I was oh, better give this a try, and clear the way just in case I piss everywhere I would with the other one. And it was just super easy. And you wouldn't think so, because if you compare the funnel size, oh sorry, let me just take this out. if you compare the funnel size, like, there's quite a big difference. Like, it looks like, basically it looks like the Shiwi would be much better, but it's really not. It's really, really not. Not only is this easier to use, I found, I don't know whether it's the shape of the funnel or what, but also it's much comfier to use because this is like a sharp plastic thing, whereas this is some kind of like clay, polymer clay stuff, so it's quite soft and nice. So it's not like jabbing yourself awkwardly in the junk, so that's cool. It's always a bonus. Yeah, that's gross, isn't it? Sorry, it is clean. So that's basically the gist with this one. I really like this. The only thing I would say is, for me personally, I haven't gotten on with the whole combining packing and STPing. I did modify Mr. Limpy, as you can see the scars of here and here. My mother helped me, which was kind of hilarious and fun. So I modified it, and basically, yeah, what you do, you get Mr. Limpy, you put a hole through him with a hot screwdriver, and then you like shove the urinal thingy in. That was really easy to do and really fine and like simple, although having mom to help was useful, so maybe if you have like somebody, like a girlfriend or whatever, to help out with that, that might, or a boyfriend, that might be helpful. But yeah, that was like a fine process, so it was all fine. And like peeing through it like that, peeing through an actual like vaguely penis-y looking thing was like really, I want to say almost magical, which is really sad, but it was like, it was quite a lovely experience. However, and also having it through the STP means that because he kind of clings to the latex, that means you make Mr. Limpy slightly less stout, which is nice, because when he's sitting there, he's just like, oh, I'm like short and chubby. So he's a nicer shape when it's got the urinal inside, and it's nice to be peeing through something that actually looks like a penis as opposed to like a bit of hardware. However, I could not find a comfortable way of keeping the funnel, I'll just show you what I'm doing here, keeping the funnel like next to me in my pants, or like leaving it there, or like I just couldn't figure out where to leave it that would be at all comfortable, and so I didn't find it practical to keep them combined and actually use it, which is a shame, because, you know, obviously that would be better and that would be safer in terms of if you were trying to pass a urinal, which I don't really, just like, we'll get onto that. Anyway, so yeah, didn't end up keeping them combined. I took this guy out, and if I'm packing and peeing, I just have my packer there and like pee around it, whatever. I just use them separately, which works fine. This is really quite easy to keep in your pocket because it's just like quite little, especially compared to the, doesn't look that little, but it is fairly little compared to the Shiwi. So like, oh look, I've got it in my pocket, you can't even tell, oh, yeah, anyway, so that's fine. As for how often I actually do stand to pee, not particularly often. I don't experience a great deal of dysphoria with having to sit down to pee. It doesn't really bother me all that much. Just move the table leg, that's uncomfortable. What was I saying? Yeah, I don't really stand to pee that often. In circumstances where I know, like for example, at my girlfriend's new house, before the people that she lived with knew that I was trans. I was just used as a boyfriend, and there wasn't really anything more said about it. And at that point, they know now, but before they knew that I was trans, I felt like super worried about going to the bathroom and like sitting and not leaving the seat up and stuff. So I like used my STP while I was there just to make me feel less frightened about like people being like, what? Why are you sitting down? Not that, you know, they would be following me into the toilet, but her bathroom, her toilet in our house has like a big stained glass door, and it's like, so yeah. So situations like that, or if I used this in a public toilet the other day for the first time, and I was like so proud of myself. So that was cool. Although I was like super nervous, and so I was like peeing in tiny increments. You did not need to know that. Oh well. Shy bladder times, which I don't ever get, but because I was in a public toilet and using STP for the first time, I was like, so yeah, so mostly, and like another instance where I've used it a lot is I had a particularly dysphoric day, and I suppose in general, if I'm having a particularly dysphoric day, I'll, like, even if I'm just at home, I'll STP for the day just to kind of, like, ease up on something, have something that's making me feel better. It's a weird thing to help, I suppose, but there you go. So yeah, that's about that. That's packing and STP. Oh, packing straps. So, the Mr. Limpy, he's pretty small and pretty, like, you know, easy to keep in place. You can just put it in your pants, and so long as you're wearing, like, I'm not going to show you my underpants, but so long as you're wearing, like, boxer briefs that have a little pockety bit, he's fairly safe to just be left in your pants, and I have never experienced, like, falling down my trouser leg or anything. So that's fine. However, it's not ideal, like, to having it next to your skin for all day, or your, like, you know, hair, is not really very comfortable, and probably not very sanitary. So I didn't really like that particularly. So I made this incredible packing strap myself, with my own hands. So basically it's just like, hey, so you just like put it on like that, that's the waistband, and then put him through there, I think is where he goes, and then like that wraps around. It works anyway, but it's a bit inconvenient. It's sort of rode around a bit, and like, and again, there's no like pouch, it's just like he's still sitting sort of just against my skin, so I was like, well, that didn't solve anything at all. So then I read on, I think the FTM's Tumblr, someone was like, hey, by the way, buy a jockstrap for packing, and I was like, that's ingenious. Went to Sports World, £2.50, bought myself a jockstrap, and this is honestly like the best answer in the world. It's so good, because literally you get your penis and you put it in the pouch. It's like super straightforward and easy. Put your penis in the pouch, put it on, and it's just like, hey, perfect. And it works out really well because it's also got the straps. I know you can get packing straps that have the jock strap like part. Ugh. Yes, I am putting my packer on top of my trousers. I don't even know why what am I doing? What am I thinking? Oh well, why not? Just for fun, just to make this video slightly more entertaining. So yeah, put this on underneath my underpants. Just turn it over a little bit. I really can't believe I just did that. I don't really know what I'm doing. Anyway, it's super comfortable because it's got this thick band. It's like really comfy. It's got the nice little soft pouch, which fits obviously a penis and fan because that's what it's made for. And these straps just mean it stays in place, and it's all just really awesome. And I can't believe no one suggested it sooner. So I was like, yay, problem solved. So that's really awesome. You just put it on underneath your underpants, and all is well. I suppose you could put it on top of your underpants if you wanted to. But yeah, I think that's about it. I think that's all my packing and standing to pee advice and experience. Once again, super recommend the urinal. It's really comfy, it's really easy to use, and obviously it's, you know, made by a trans guy, which means you're, you know, giving back to someone from our community, which is really cool. Yeah, that's about that. Anything else I wanted to say? No, I think that's all. Have a lovely week, and stay cool, and yeah, happy packing. Obviously, wait, no, there was one more thing I wanted to say. Oh, you thought you were getting away with, then didn't you? Oh, no, you're not. About packing, I thought for quite a while, for the first, like, many months of identifying, when I say identify as male, I thought having a packer would just make me worse. And so I didn't get one. And then eventually I was like, well, I'll just get one. I'll get, like, the cheapest one there is, i.e. the Mr. Limpy. Just to like see how I feel about it. And obviously I talked to my my lady about it a lot beforehand as well, because it's kind of a big deal. This is a good thing to keep in mind actually, especially if you are with a person who, I'm sorry, I'll be done in a sec. Especially if you're with a person who has only been with women before. You being male is one thing, and your body changing and whatnot. there suddenly being something that looks like a penis in your lives is sort of like, I don't know, like it shouldn't be a huge deal necessarily, but it's certainly something that might affect them. So it's a good idea, I would say, to talk to your person if that's their their experience. That was Stevie's experience anyway. And to be honest, it was weird for me as well because I don't really have much penis experience. So, so talk to your partners, people, if you have one. And take the decision carefully. Not everyone has to pack. It doesn't really matter. Nobody really looks at your crotch. It's really more, I suppose, just if you're worried about it and you just want to ease your mind, which is why I do. But don't worry if you don't feel like packing. That's not like a problem, obviously. It's probably more convenient. Yeah, it's just if it feels right for you, go ahead. That's all. That's it. I promise I'm actually done now. Stay cool. Bye.